We're filming today just inside the entrance to Burghcastle Domain. And it is in garden contexts like this that most of us first encounter fuchsia for the first time. But in fact, fuchsia has taken to the wild in parts of Slieve Bloom, as it has more extensively in the west of Ireland and on mountains throughout the country. Now, fuchsia is a relatively recent arrival in Ireland. It came here in the early years of the 19th century, but Irish people have taken it to their hearts in a way they've taken few other alien plants. Its common Irish name is Joraday, God's tears. Now, the species of fuchsia that has taken to the wild in Slieve Bloom is Fuchsia magellanica. And this comes from the southern tip of South America, southern Argentina, the south part of Chile, the area around Patagonia. And the most fascinating thing about fuchsia is that it would be difficult to find a flower which has honed its structure more specifically over tens of millions of years of evolution for pollination by hummingbirds. All the distinctive features of the flower are specific adaptations for bird pollination. In fact, this is your classic ornithophilus blossom. There's the colour first of all. Red and purple are the colours to which birds respond most to. The texture of the petals and sepals is rather tough and waxy, which is an adaptation to resist the probing of the beak of a bird. The dangling flower means that there is no obvious landing platform. The pollinator is forced to hover in order to access the nectar. And finally, there is the abundance of nectar, because vertebrates such as birds have a much higher energy requirement and need more nectar to make it worth their while to visit the flowers. But our bees have taken to the flowers as if they were made specifically for them, flocking to the blossoms and successfully accessing the abundant nectar. They contribute very little to cross-pollination because they never come in contact with the anthers or the stigma. Although it came late to the attention of Christiaan Europe, it wasn't too late for fuchsia to be co-opted onto the select list of Golgotha plants. Plants which had some feature or characteristic that Christian piety attributed to their presence on Mount Calvary at the time of Christ's crucifixion. And so legend tells that before the crucifixion, fuchsia was a sweet-scented plant without flowers. But where drops of blood from the cross fell upon it, flowers, red and purple, the colour of blood, grew, but hanging their heads in grief to see the Saviour of the world crucified. And it had lost its aroma, because in its grief, its perfume faded away.